Hello, all my friends in the YouTuberverse. It's Chris with Expat Theory. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Appreciate you being here. Got some updates to give you, some new information about what's going on in the future. Hang on, I'll get right to it. All right, guys, before I get started and all the things that's going on, if you wouldn't mind, hit the like, share, subscribe, and notification bell. Apparently, I'm hearing on YouTube the notification bell has become the thing that's important. So I don't have a whole lot of followers and subscribers, but if my channel happens to be monetized, fine. I'm not really worried about it. I'm not on YouTube to make money. I'm here for myself and for you guys, as I've mentioned before. But for those of you who do want to follow me, if you don't mind, spread it around to others to like, share, and subscribe, and notification bell thing. I would definitely appreciate it. Okay, that being said, all right, here's the thing. Before this loop thing even started, I've talked about it before, where I'm going from North Carolina to Illinois to California, back to North Carolina, taking my break, and then rinse and repeat, doing it all over again. Before this even started, we ended up being down for 2 weeks. And before we got our home time there, they just kind of popped this on me and said, yeah, this is what we're going to do. Nobody ever talked to me about it. Nobody ever gave me any option to voice my opinion or anything. It was just, here you go. That's what you're doing. I knew right off the bat that this wasn't going to work for me. I have history of not just being, a construction guy or trucker or anything like that. I've actually worked in corporate America in administration. I've done data entry auditing. I know how to crunch numbers. I've been a manager that handled 365 security officers, scheduling and payroll for 27 sites. I've been data entry and auditing for $1 million advertising accounts. I might look like a dummy, but I'm actually pretty sharp, especially when it comes to numbers. And I know my math, I know my money, I know how to track it. So from the beginning, I was like, no, this is going to cut into my money. This ain't what I want. My whole idea was to continue maximizing my miles and my drive clock every week. This loop does not do that. It just sets you up and here's, enough to get by kind of thing. And it really wasn't maximizing anything. And that takes work on the driver's manager part to keep your loads coming so that you're not stopping and you keep rolling, making miles. And it's not an easy job. Don't get me wrong. I don't criticize my boss. He's done an excellent job, actually. Over the time that I've been driving, he's done a real good job of keeping us rolling. We've had a lot of issues, a lot of downtime. It's just part of the trucking deal. You really can't control it. So the parts that he has controlled, he's done a pretty good job. I can't complain about the guy. The guy's a good guy. The easy thing for him to put us on the loop, though, is he only has to send us out load information for the whole week. One time, bam, done. Doesn't have to do any creative thinking or planning to schedule us loads. So it's easier for him. And the loop was fantastic for my co-driver. We end up taking our breaks 30 minutes from his house so he can go home and spend time with his wife and dog and, actually enjoy going home. For me, it's a bit further away. I don't really want to try to take that extra time because I'm still an hour plus away from my house. So this loop was a great thing for my co-driver, and it's a better thing for my driver manager. But here comes the twist. I told my driver manager from the very beginning, before I ever even hit the road, that I would rather be solo. And at that time, I was pretty much told, no, we hired you in for expedited department, which is team driving. So I went along to get along, okay? And I know the magic number pretty much for trucking is 2 years. 2 years over the road experience opens 90% of the doors for trucking opportunities. And I knew I wanted to get my 2 years experience. So I kind of went along with the whole team driving thing. Begrudgingly, okay? I made myself very clear to my driver manager, and I've only had the one co-driver and the one driver manager the whole time I've been with CRST, which is unusual, by the way. A lot of people make changes to that right off the bat. Not everybody gels, like I've mentioned before. When you put two people in a truck, it's a hard thing. You got two different people, two different backgrounds, two different personalities stuck in a tight spot, and they got to learn to live together, work together. And when you're on the same page of maximizing money and savings, it's great. If you get one that's not so hot on it and has a personality of do enough to get along and get by, and the other guy's jobbing it, it's hard. So if you got two that are jobbing it, you're great. If you got two that are just coasting and get by and get enough, that's great. It's only a problem when you come into the situation like I am. My co-driver isn't that worried about maximizing everything. He enjoys the time off. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm the other way. I want to maximize everything. So my end goal and his end goal aren't the same. And for the longest time now, we've been able to kind of meet in the middle and be okay. But going into this loop thing, I knew it was going to be not good for me. I knew I was going to be losing money. And when we first started doing it, I crunched the numbers on it. And I told him that, the potential and everything is going to be about $200 a week difference for me. And I'm not happy with that. $200 a week, that's $10,000 a year. I wasn't too keen on losing $10,000 a year in potential income. So now that we've run this thing, I started crunching the numbers based on actual performance. I took the 5 weeks that we were running this loop and averaged it out. And I took the 5 weeks prior to running this loop and averaged it out. And guess what? Came out to be about $200 a week. Exactly as I said. And I'm smarter than the average bear. So anyway, I started running this loop. Within a week or two, I was already calling my manager saying, hey, this isn't working for me. This isn't going to work for me. I need to be somewhere that's going to maximize my money because I'm very, very focused and very dedicated to my plan, as you guys know. Instead of actually listening to me, my driver manager decided to go into hard sell mode, and he tried to counter every point I was trying to make. He wasn't listening to me. He wasn't hearing me, and he wasn't taking into account what I was trying to tell him. So I decided, I still want to stay with CRST. I think it's a good company. I think they do well. I decided to go to our career path people, and they're set up to try to find drivers, driving positions within the company. And I went over to some of the options with them, and I was not happy with most all of it. I was like, no, I don't want that. No, don't want that. Um, as an industry, I guess they're trying to move more towards getting guys home to balance out the home life, work life thing. You know, for everybody, that sounds great. You know, that's what they want. But there are a small sliver of us guys who are not focused on that. We're focused on money. We want to maximize our income potential. And this trend is basically going directly opposite of what we want and need. And I was pretty much told that, you know, this is it. You know, this is what we can offer. Until I went to the career path people. Now they did make an offer on a dedicated position that runs out of Virginia and goes to upstate New York and back. For someone like me, this is amazing. Good miles every week, dedicated 2 locations. Can run solo. It is a solo position, which is what I've always wanted, and it brings in good miles every week. Taking a little bit of a pay cut on my cents per mile because that account does not pay the same as what I get paid just working in the expedited group. But because of the difference in the mileage, it actually ends up being more money. And I've crunched the numbers from every possible angle uh, just to know, you know, worst case scenario versus best case scenario, just based on the information they gave me over the phone. There's no way for me to actually nail it down until I start driving them and figure it out. But the potential for more money and running solo is absolutely there. So I agreed. I decided I wanted to do that. I put in for it. Downside is CRST is a corporate company. So they have the same problems and issues that 90% of corporate companies have, which is lack of communication. So after I spoke to the career path people a short time later, my driver manager calls me and he's kind of upset. He's like, you know, what's going on? Did you even tell your co-driver that you're leaving and stuff? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, this whole dedicated thing. And I was like, I have nothing to tell. He knows. Matter of fact, he's contacting the same group looking for something for himself because he knows I'm leaving. And he's like, well, this is the first I heard of it. And I'm like, well, I had nothing to tell you. I don't know anything yet. I'm still waiting to hear back from the career path people to even tell you anything because I don't know. So apparently there's communication going on within the company, but nobody's really telling me what's going on. And now, of course, my driver manager is mad because I didn't tell him. I tried to tell you that I was not happy with this, and you went into hard sell mode. You know, I feel bad, but I don't. You know, I don't really feel that bad because my plan was working somewhat. I mean, it's been working pretty good. Wasn't ideal, but I was doing enough of the creative scheduling with our routes. So he was doing enough for me to be satisfied. But when he took that away and changed it and altered my plan by putting us on this loop, he's affecting my money in the negative direction. So my change that I'm affecting is because of his change. He instigated this. He started this problem. He created this problem by putting us on this loop in the first place. And I was never consulted, never asked, never talked to, nothing. It was just, here you go. That's what you're going to do. Good luck to you. Which kind of pissed me off, to be honest with you. I didn't like that. I feel like they should have given me at least the respect to call me and tell me, hey, this is what we're planning, this is what we're going to do. And I could have voiced it right off the bat. I voiced it to my co-driver, and then after we started doing it, I went along to get along because that's kind of the way I am. After I figured out that this loop thing wasn't going to work, I actually went to the driver manager. He didn't want to listen. So my going to the career path and trying to get a different position and messes my driver manager up for this whole loop thing. Sorry, you decided to alter my plan and mess with my money. I got to do what's best for me. Regardless if it's good for you or my co-driver, I'm not here to make life easy for my co-driver or for my driver manager. I'm here to reach my end goal. And I work really hard to do that. And I know damn good and well I've made them both good money because I work my butt off. I drive my butt off every time I get behind the wheel. So I've held up my end. They're the ones that changed, not me. So I got to find something else. Just the way it is. Nothing of animosity, nothing negative towards them. You guys changed the situation on me, and now it no longer works for me. So I got to go elsewhere. Got to find something that works for me. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a call back. I'm here in North Carolina on my break. I'm waiting for a call back from the dedicated position to let me know when I'm going to be starting. They're going to have to route me through the corporate offices there in Cedar Rapids so that I can get a truck and switch everything out from this truck to that truck and start running that one, running solo. And I've crunched all the numbers. It all looks good. I should be able to do quite well. So that's the future of what's going on here with CRST. I can't say anything negative. I'm fairly happy with this company. They are a corporate company, so you're going to hit the same issues, problems, and the typical corporate problems that you have at any job that's corporate. It's all the same. So I am happy with CRST, so don't get me wrong. I'm not looking to leave the company. If things don't work out and this dedicated position doesn't work out, I will probably run it until I get my 2 years, which will be in February. And then I'll start looking for somewhere else because all the doors will open for me. I'll have 2 years over the road experience and can pretty much drive for anybody. So that'll work out. All right, moving on. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Okay, sorry about that. My headset gave me an issue. It kicked out. I must have got some sort of notification or something. It caused my microphone here to stop recording. Oh, it's very bright out here. So what I was saying about my financials, I'm going to call it. My paycheck next week, next Friday, it's Sunday today, next Friday, that paycheck, I'll be able to move enough over into savings to hit my goal for 2021. I'm very happy about that. Actually going to meet my goals for 2021 in October, the end of October. So it leaves me 2 months. Of course, I'll have expenditures for Christmas and everything, and anything and above and beyond paying my bills and Christmas and all that stuff. Anything I put into savings is basically directly going to 2022 to try to get ahead of the game a little bit. So I'm extremely happy with meeting my financial goals for the year early. Now, my financial plan actually has kind of changed. The first year, my goal was to have 10 grand in the bank. And I hit that goal, but I also did above and beyond that because I paid off a bunch of credit cards. I paid off some arrears, my child support, paid off my divorce. Um, yeah, I was able to actually pay off a bunch of stuff. Somewhere, and I bought a new car, which is $2 grand down, and all this. Somewhere between 10 and 12 grand of expenditures that were above and beyond my normal. So if I'd have actually put all that into savings, I would have had over 20 grand, 22 grand in savings. Um, but my plan was realistic, and anything above and beyond what I was trying to do in my plan, I used to clear up any debts that I owed and take care of stuff that I needed to pay off. So my first 10 months with the company was freaking amazing compared to my CVS days. Second year plan was to add another 15 grand to that savings. And then partway into 2021, I decided that I also wanted to start a second savings account for travel expenses and other things that I needed to pay off, and separate my main savings plan into one account, a secondary savings for other things into a second account. And I actually upped my goal by another 5 grand, meaning I wanted to have 20 grand in savings for 2021 added to 2020 for a total of 30 grand. I hit that. So I'm very happy with that. Going forward, it's the same idea. 15 for my main savings, 5 for my secondary. And if I perform above and beyond, I may alter that up again. Hopefully my finances are going to continue to go upwards, and I'll be able to put more and more away. And taking into account, because I did have a friend of mine tell me, no, don't speak about specific numbers because somebody could, come and try and do me harm. I'm going to risk it. I actually want you guys out there to know what kind of numbers I'm talking about. But for safety and security reasons, after this video, I may not discuss the actual numbers going into my savings and so forth, just to kind of keep myself safe, because I never really thought about that much. I don't think about anybody trying to mess with me about it, but better safe than sorry. So this year is done financially. Everything above and beyond for the next couple of months goes for next year. Try to give me a little bit of a head start. Probably won't be much because I spend a lot during Christmas. I have some friends out there that I will be giving Christmas presents to. I've got a family, I have 4 granddaughters, and I'm going to try to spoil them a little bit if I can. So I'm not overly concerned about what I'm going to spend over the next couple of months. I've hit my goal, so I'm happy. And again, going forward, I'll probably downplay the actual math and just kind of let you guys know whether or not I hit my targets. And if you've watched me and you followed me, you'll know what I'm talking about. So looking at 20 grand a year being put back. And that secondary account is going to cover when I'm ready to, because things are starting to open up COVID wise. So things are starting to open up. Travel's opening up. So I should be able to schedule an exploratory trip in the near future. and be able to go there and look around firsthand. And that's not going to come out of my primary retirement savings. That's going to be a completely separate savings account, so it won't affect, my end game. So things are coming together, guys. I mean, I can't say how thankful I am, uh, especially to my buddy Jose. Special shout out to you. He jumped into this whole trucking thing a year before me, and he's kind of been the trailblazer. He's been the one to kind of run into all the headaches and hassles, and because he and I speak all the time, um, I get a really good view outside my box. I got my little box of thinking and experiences, and then here he is doing very similar plan. He has a different end game as far as location and all that, but the plan's very similar. He got into trucking to do the whole retirement thing and overseas, and it really has helped me be able to make better decisions and figure out my path forward by having somebody out there who's actually doing it at the same time. And he started before me, so even before I got into this game, I already had knowledge. It's been invaluable. So Jose, if you're watching, dude, appreciate you. You really make a big difference. So I want you to know that. And me and that asshole, we go back 30 plus years. We've known each other since freaking 80s, man. We were stationed at Clark Air Base in the Philippines. So anyway, I guess that's going to be the video and the update. Sitting here in Kernersville area, or Mabane, North Carolina, taking my break, getting some rest. Going to get back on the road on Tuesday and play out this loop thing until somebody from corporate gives me the heads up and they route me through to Cedar Rapids so I can get a new truck and go on this new position. And I'll make further videos, of course, showing you, the switch over and getting onto the new route and all the ins and outs of that. So that's going to be the video for today. I know English works better usually. I appreciate you guys watching. I know this is going to be a long video, but I just wanted to catch all up with what's going on. So we will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.